Crimson Tally lies shattered, its structure broken by the heroic sacrifice of the Angels of Ash. But even in death, the relic's heart still beats. Unseen amidst the ruins, agents of the Dark Mechanicus slithered through the smoke and blood, prying loose the warp crystal core, the very heart of the artifact. This corrupted shard now pulses with raw warp energy, its presence distorting time, space, and reason. Now carried by hand in an armored reliquary and flanked by corrupted cyborgs, the Dark Mechanicus begins its exodus across the war-torn plains of Thesa Primaris. Their destination, a hidden manufactorum deep beneath the crust of the world, where the crystal will be embedded into a forbidden engine of war. But the Imperium is not blind. Intercepted Voxcant reveals the hereteks' route, a strike force of Tempestus Scions from the elite Aquilon cadre has been dispatched to halt them. Dropping from high-altitude Valkyries, the Scions descend like thunderbolts. They have one mission: destroy the crystal or die trying. The battle begins before the first shot is fired. The Dark Mechanicus seize the initiative, their movements cold, deliberate, and steeped in heretek precision. On the left flank, a Skitarii surveyor pushes forward ahead of the convoy, scanning with auspex arrays. His mechanical gait is steady, calculating, unaware of the eyes already upon him. From the skies above, an Aquilon marksman plummets earthward. His grav chute flares, dropping him into the shelter of a roadside ruin. Through the fractured stone, he sights the vanguard warriors ahead. Last shots blaze from his rifle, precise, disciplined, but the hereteks absorb the fire, only a handful of wounds marring their advance. Alongside the surveyor, a Skitarii gunner armed with a plasma cavalier marches into range. His optics flare bright, targeting an Aquilon plasma gunner holding cover. The Scion has no time to react, no warning, before a molten wave of plasma engulfs him. When the light fades, only a scorched crater remains. The Imperial servo sentry pivots, auto-targeters locking onto a Sicarian infiltrator slinking in the distance. Its hotshot volley gun spits a storm of beams. Yet the infiltrator moves unhindered, weaving between abandoned cargo containers on the right flank. Overhead, this maneuver is spotted. The Aquilon precursor drops from the Valkyrie, grav chute bracing him for impact as he lands in the infiltrator's path. Knives flash. The melee is brutal, swift. The heretek falls limp at the Scion's feet. Without pause, the precursor slips between containers, searching for his next quarry. But vengeance comes quickly. The second infiltrator darts forward, radium rounds tearing into the precursor's retreating form. Wounds are dealt, but the Aquilon fights on. On the opposite flank, the Meltagunner reacts to his fallen brother. He advances to a surprisingly intact building, citing the plasma gunner responsible. The trigger pull is almost an afterthought. A lance of superheated fury vaporizes the target, leaving nothing but a smoking ruin of limbs and metal. Down the central road, a vanguard warrior raises his radium carbine and sights the servo sentry. The weapon's irradiated blast heats its frame until the machine explodes in a shower of sparks and shrapnel. From the high ground of a cargo container, the Aquilon gunfighter opens up on the infiltrator in the ruins below. Rounds punch through armor, drawing blood, but not enough to halt the advance. The reprisal is merciless. A Skitarii sniper, wielding a transuranic arquebus, sights the gunfighter. One perfect shot, then another. The Scion's body tumbles from the container, lifeless. A grenadier drops into the same position, firing down at the infiltrator. More wounds are dealt. Still, The enemy refuses to fall. The Skitarii Alpha, bearer of the warp crystal, pushes forward. The relic pulses faintly at his side. From above, the Valkyrie disgorges another trooper. He lands between the containers, adds his fire to the hunt for the infiltrator. The target is hit again, armor cracked. But still, it advances. A vanguard warrior steps into the open, sights the grenadier, and ends his life in a haze of radium fire. The battlefield slows. Dark Mechanicus troops shift into position, locking down fire lanes. The warp crystal pulses. A wave of corrupt energy lashes outward, sapping the speed and strength of those too close. On the fringe, the infiltrator sights the retreating precursor and fires. Shots strike home, but they do not slow him. The marksman on the far flank answers with fire at the advancing Alpha, but only minor wounds are scored. The Skitarii Dictat moves to shield his leader, using his tech witchery to dull the crystal's toll. On the right flank, an Aquilon closes in on the Surveyor. His shots at point-blank range tear the machine apart. The Alpha slips around a ruin, finding a sightline on the precursor. But instead, he targets a more distant Scion. The choice is grimly justified as the trooper crumples to the ground. The precursor senses the threat behind him and charges, engaging the Alpha in brutal melee. In the struggle, he manages to plant demolition charges on the warp crystal. A nearby warrior moves to support the Alpha. Another Scion drops from the Valkyrie, darting into the cover of a building. An arc rifle gunner steps into the open and unleashes at the marksman in the ruins. The Aquilon suffers wounds, armor sparking under the assault. The Tempester finally enters the fight, landing on the right flank. Bolt pistol roaring, he rips into the arc rifle gunner. Severe damage, but not enough to finish the job. Another Skitarii warrior advances, slowed by the crystal's malign aura. The last Aquilon drops to the right flank, targeting the arc rifle gunner. Only light wounds are inflicted. The sniper repositions, but holds his shot. The crystal pulses again, this time a blinding light that leaves those nearby reeling. The precursor recovers first, striking the Alpha down and seizing the warp crystal before retreating to cover. The arc rifle gunner answers with a hasty shot at the Tempester, hitting only the crates beside him. The Melta gunner swings around a building, sighting the arc rifle from behind. One blistering shot obliterates the target. A Skitarii warrior, repositioned earlier, sights the marksman in the ruins. A clean shot drops him instantly. The Tempester advances, firing into the warrior. Only minor wounds are scored. The sniper seizes his chance, striking the Tempester in the open. The Aquilon is hurled back against the wall. A nearby trooper surges forward, diving into a crater and returning fire at the sniper. No kill. The Skitarii warrior moves up, radium carbine trained on the precursor. The shot hits home. The crystal slips from Imperial hands, clattering to the ground. Across the Vox, the news spreads. The crystal is lost. An Aquilon reacts, leaping to a rooftop, gunning down a Skitarii warrior. Perhaps too little, too late. The infiltrator clambers over containers, collecting data tags from the fallen. The crystal pulses once more. No one remains in range to feel its touch. The sniper turns his sights on the trooper in the crater. With no real cover, the Scion is slain. Any chance of recovering the crystal dies with him. From the rooftop, the Aquilon fires again, killing the sniper. The infiltrator secures another set of tags. The Melta gunner vaults pipes, closing on the crystal. But the Skitarii Dictat stands in his path. The Melta's blast reduces him to molten wreckage. Smoke rolls across the field as the last Skitarii warrior advances, seizing the warp crystal. With a final, ominous crackle, the relic vanishes into the warp, and with it, the Imperium's hope of ending the Crimson Tally. Thanks for watching, Guardsmen. This skirmish is over, but the war rages on. Like the video to honor the fallen, and subscribe to be summoned for the next operation. The campaign continues, and your orders are coming.